Trump's post about Reiner and his wife was very inappropriate. Reiner, according to Trump, suffered from Trump derangement syndrome or TDS. His post appears to blame Reiner and his wife for their demise. He claims America is in a golden age. Huh?
Overnight, Rob Reiner has died. He was best known for his breakout role as Archie Bunker's son-in-law. You could see there in All in the Family. Reiner's family confirmed to CNN that Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, were both found dead. Detectives are investigating an apparent homicide at their home after finding two bodies there. The LAPD have not officially released the identities of the victims.
We have not identified a suspect at this time. We're going to try and speak to every family member that we can to get to the facts of this investigation.
Reiner's career in Hollywood stretched decades. He was a prolific director with titles including This Is Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, and A Few Good Men. CNN entertainment reporter Lisa Respers France joins me now. Lisa, it's fair to say this is an absolute shock nationally, but as well as for the Hollywood community. Can you talk about what you've been hearing overnight?
Yeah, what we've been hearing is people are devastated, as you said, shocked, cannot believe it. The word that I think is most going to be used when it comes to Rob Reiner is range. He had such an incredible range. He worked with so many people. Christopher Guest and his wife, Jamie Lee Curtis. Christopher Guest, of course, was in This Is Spinal Tap. They released a statement expressing their condolences and their shock. People are just mourning him greatly because he was so beloved, so well known. One of my friends said he's got to be the most popular Nepo baby ever because he went above and beyond what people expected of him. He continued to act, by the way. You know, he was just in season 4 of The Bear. He's in the sequel to Spinal Tap 2, which just came out. But he really loved making movies, and just looking at that list of films, just banger after banger after banger. Just people loved what he produced, and they also are leaning into his love story with his wife because they met on the set of When Harry Met Sally, and he said, Audie, that he changed the ending of the movie and made it more hopeful and romantic because initially they were not supposed to be a couple, but after he met her, it sounded like it was love at first sight for him. And I mean, he was inspired to change the ending to that beloved movie. And so we know how they were partners, not just in marriage, but also in business together. They worked very closely together, and people just cannot believe this is a tremendous, tremendous loss for Hollywood and for the world, Audie.
Yeah, she had been a photographer, and when they did meet after that, they worked on many projects together later on. He also had praised his wife in the past, even because of some of his politics. He was very well known in political circles, especially among Democrats. I think the governor, Gavin Newsom, actually released a statement saying Rob was a passionate advocate for children and for civil rights, taking on big tobacco, to fighting for marriage equality, to serving as a powerful voice in early education. Can you talk about her and their partnership in activism?
Yes, they both were very passionate about people, and especially the disenfranchised. And we see with Nancy Pelosi coming out and calling them dear friends and talking about their passion for others. President Obama released a statement. So they were extremely well known in political circles, but also because they really stood up for others. They believed in helping people that they felt were not getting a fair shot, not getting a fair chance, and they were both equally passionate, as I said, about doing that type of work and being outspoken about it. Neither one of them were shrinking violets when it came to their beliefs. And so they're being hailed not just for the work that they did, but also for the compassion that they led with in their lives.
You know, Lisa, these are people, as we said, they were still active, they were still working, they were still making projects. What are people out there talking about, you know, not their legacy, but even their active work in Hollywood?
Yeah, they're talking about what projects we will never get from them. You know, what they were, you know, there was a lot of conversation about the Spaceballs sequel and about Rob Reiner being involved in that. And people just are now saying they had so much gas left in the tank. You know, they just were both so incredibly creative, and people are now saying there are movies that we will never get, that won't be produced, won't be directed by the couple, because they're no longer with us. And so there's just a great deal of sadness in Hollywood and among fans, but especially among people who knew them and loved them and worked with them. And so, you know, their legacy stands, but it's a legacy that, even though, you know, they had been in Hollywood for decades, still feels like it was cut short, Audie.
We're going to be hearing more outpouring of grief today from Hollywood. Lisa Resper's friend.
Back. For what purpose does the gentlelady from California seek recognition?
Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to address the House for 1 minute and to revise and extend my remarks.
Without objection, the gentlelady is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's hard to think of anyone more remarkable and excellent in every field and endeavor than those pursued by Rob and Michelle Reiner. Rob was creative, funny, and beloved, and Michelle, successful in her own right, was an indispensable partner, intellectual resource, and loving wife. Personally, Rob and Michelle were first and foremost very loving parents. Rob cared deeply about people and demonstrated in the community beyond family, whether by supporting the First Five Initiative. First Five Initiative, he took money from the tobacco tax and applied it to the first 5 years of a child's birth. Children born in California, my own grandchild, has a packet that they take home and teaches them how to care for an infant child. And also for fighting against the discriminatory Proposition 8. Civically, he was a champion for the First Amendment and the creative rights of artists, and professionally, he was an iconic figure in film who made us laugh, cry, and think with the movies he created. Paul and I and our Italian family mourn the loss of our dear friends and pray for his loved ones, his children. His children, Jake and Romy, put out a statement thanking everyone for their good wishes, but asking for privacy. We respect that. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I want to have you apply a fuller statement for the record of the great life achievements, beautiful beautiful love of community of Rob and Michelle Reiner. I just want to say 3 things. Do you recognize this? I can't even do it
Without
because
objections, admitted
I'm
for the
getting
record,
too
the gentlelady's
emotional.
time has
But it's in the
expired.
record. It's the things that have been said in his movies. I'll have what she's having. You can't handle the truth. As you wish, and go to 11. You know what that is? But that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.